Audiobook Academy. Book Summary. Waiting for Godot. By Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett's best-known drama is Waiting for Godot. There are 2 acts to this play. The original text was written in French, but the author personally translated it into English before publishing it online. Because of its success, the play was adapted into other languages around the world. The play's popularity can be attributed to the fact that it has no storyline, but we can still learn a lot from it. In addition to Vladimir, Lucky, Pozzo, and Estragon, there is a child who serves as a courier, but he only appears in 2 lines of dialogue. There are numerous monotonous and painful real-life occurrences that the play depicts that have no plot, even though it appears to have a plot. The only things in the play that exist are episodes of waiting, and there are no exciting moments in this play. In an effort to keep the reader interested, the author inserts conversation and incidents to break up the monotony. Some people refer to this as a tragicomedy since some of the characters appear to be amusing at times. Vladimir and Estragon, 2 wanderers, were waiting for Godot in an unknown location under a tree beside a road. In their minds, he is a god who will save them. Estragon's vain attempts to remove his shoe set the tone for the rest of the play. Vladimir agrees with him that there is nothing he can do about the shoe, and he tells him so. They waste time talking about nothing while they wait. According to what Estragon told him, he had been sleeping rough on the street and had been beaten up by some bullies. Estragon managed to remove his shoe while Vladimir gazed into his helmet. Soon after that, Vladimir tells Estragon that they should repent, and Estragon presses him for an explanation, but Vladimir is unable to provide one. Awaiting Godot is the only thing keeping Estragon and Vladimir from leaving. Whether or not Godot will emerge at all was a topic of conversation between them. Estragon slept off while they talked about Godot's impending arrival. Upon waking, he was eager to share his dream with Vladimir, but he was ignored. Soon after, they had a major altercation and determined that they should both hang themselves. They had to abandon the plan due to the tree's shaky branches. Once more, they turned the conversation to Godot and the reasons for his dependence on them. A carrot was Vladimir's solution to Estragon's hunger pangs. A scream was heard. His slave Lucky accompanied Pozzo on the occasion of his public appearance. Pozzo had Lucky tethered to a string and in his grip with a whip. In addition to the food basket, chair and suitcase that Lucky was lugging, the man's behavior was erratic and obnoxious. They were noticed by Estragon and Vladimir, who speculated that one of them might be Godot. Lucky was tasked with setting Pozzo's chair and preparing him a meal. Estragon and Vladimir pleaded with Pozzo to give them some chicken bones while also being outraged by his treatment of Lucky. Pozzo was most likely well off, well-fed, and cunning. Pozzo told them that Lucky did all of these things because he liked his positions and that he was preparing to sell him. When Lucky heard that, he burst into tears. When Estragon tried to comfort him, Lucky kicked him in the foot. Estragon took vengeance upon him by spitting on him. His gray hair was exposed when Pozzo ordered Lucky to remove his hat. Everyone was taken aback by Lucky's actions. Then Pozzo told Lucky to put on his hat and start dancing, and he did just that. No one could figure out what Lucky was singing and he was kicked again. Estragon informed Pozzo that it was his feet and Vladimir's breath that reeked. In order to sell Lucky, Pozzo took him to the fair. During their time together, Vladimir and Estragon were interrupted by a young kid. The youngster served as both Godot's shepherd and spokesman. He informed them that Godot would not be arriving that evening as planned. Estragon removed his shoes because he wished to walk barefoot in the night. This time around, they decided that hanging themselves was the best option. It was decided that they should not break up now that they had discussed the topic of remaining together. The events of the first act are mostly unchanged in the second. There is no sign of Godot, so Vladimir and Estragon remain hopeful. As Vladimir's mournful song played, Estragon returned, this time battered. That's when he came up with the idea of splitting up with them. Despite the fact that they had been there before, Estragon was completely unaware of the fact that they were at the exact same location. Estragon concluded that the shoes he'd left under the tree weren't there because he and the other 2 spotted a lot of leaves on the branches. He begged Vladimir to let him go, but Vladimir insisted they stay until Estragon arrived. In response to Vladimir's declaration that he was hungry, Estragon gave Vladimir some radish. As a result, Estragon refused to eat it. He was ready to retire for the night, but not before putting his shoes on. Estragon awoke when Vladimir wrapped him up with a coat. Vladimir reassured him once more and soothed him. Vladimir put away his hat and took Lucky's because they found Lucky's hat. Then they began to upset each other in order to act like Lucky and Pozzo. The real Pozzo and Lucky arrived after a while. Lucky was deaf, while Pozzo was blind. Even after pulling the blind Pozzo, Lucky had to stumble and fall. Vladimir and Estragon began to consider how they could take advantage of their blindness and deafness. Pozzo offered to assist them financially. Pozzo promptly fell asleep and, upon reawakening, requested Lucky. Vladimir and Estragon are still waiting for Lucky and Pozzo, while Vladimir and Estragon have gone their separate ways. In yet another appearance, the youngster claims that Godot will not be arriving tonight. To ascertain the veracity of the boy's story, Vladimir interrogates him. Since he's never met them before, the youngster explained that this is his first time meeting them. If they don't wait until Godot arrives, Vladimir will punish them. Estragon wants to escape. Since they lacked a rope to hang themselves, they turned to Estragon's suggestion that they use a belt instead. They decided to try again tomorrow with a rope after the belt snapped. To keep his pants up, Estragon had to constantly hold them up. Both of them remained in the same spot, waiting for Godot to arrive. Everything revolves around the man who isn't coming, and we can't tell where the play begins or ends. Time and place, unspecified time, the place was barely described. Characters, Vladimir, Estragon, Pozzo, Lucky, the boy. Erastus, a slave to his fundamental instincts, easily depleted, and just follows the path of least resistance. Vladimir, he doesn't go with the flow so readily, he opposes destiny and the repetitive lifestyle. Pozzo, ruthless and astute. He walked his slave like a dog, with a leash around his neck. Lucky, Pozzo's servant who has been a victim of his ill treatment. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.